Good morning. I am higher vibration. So are you. Man, what a day. What a week. So much going on right now. Like, I know a lot of you are feeling these increase in ascension symptoms last night or this early this morning, like 9 hours ago, almost exactly. There was something that happened that I couldn't still haven't been able to find any real evidence of it. Like we'll go to the Schumann. Actually, I didn't actually look at the Schumann. I don't know why I didn't look at the Schumann, but we'll go to a variety of different resources and look for um, let's see what the energy shift is happening. Yeah, there's nothing in the Schumann at that time either. So that was 9 hours ago, 5:05 a.m. Central Time. Turn off that ringtone. And like heart palpitations, crazy, all kinds of weird energy was coming in. I had a few people message me, text me, and email me, all saying a variety of different things like increased anxiety, shaking of the body, feeling vibrations in their core, all about the same time. And so, yeah, lots of stuff happening. Before we get kind of going into that, I do want to highlight the window of time that we're in right now. So as we know, a lot of people know anyway that tomorrow is the inauguration. I know that I'm not a political person. I don't come here trying to be. I'm not interested in most capacities. However, there have been there's a lot of stuff about this particular day. Um, so I actually wrote a bunch of stuff down, but I'm just going to highlight a couple of points. Is that Pluto is conjunct the Sun in Aquarius tomorrow and the next day. Like Pluto is transformation. We've been talking about the age of Aquarius for a long time, right? And this has a lot to do with where Pluto is stationed and the fact that it's in Aquarius. Though Pluto being conjuncting the Sun in Aquarius is pretty big deal. This doesn't happen like very often at all. Anyway, so Pluto's, transformation. Aquarius is the society stuff that's happening in society. And then, of course, when you involve the Sun, then it's putting a spotlight on all those things, you know. And so there's a lot of things happening with that. It just happens to line up with this other political thing. I only bring that one up, the political part. Again, I'm not interested in any of that stuff, but it has to do with the collective experience. Everyone who is here feels everyone, and so we're feeling everybody. And there's some people who are upset about it, some people are excited about it. Everybody has their whatever, and that's got nothing to do with what I'm saying here. It's that we're feeling them. You know what I mean? And so there's a lot of that's happening, as well as there's a conjunction of Venus and Saturn. There's a lunar occultation of Spica. The moon nodes just switched. The moon's nodes are also known as the nodes of destiny or fate, which, as we all understand, fate or destiny isn't exactly what we've been taught, so but there's some significance in what's happened there. So now the north node is in Pisces and the south node is in Virgo, which is interesting because those are my north and south nodes. I find that really interesting on a private level, personal level. And then just a lot of upliftment and shifting happening. Okay. That's not even considering the fact that we're now in this parade of planets. There's a lot of stuff happening right now to do with the parade of planets. We're already able to see most of them. When this is best seen at sunset, just at sunset, is when you're able to see all of them because one of them is so close to the sun. So anyway, the peak of that is, of course, a week from yesterday. So 6 days from now is when it's peaking. It peaks for 2 days, goes to the 27th. On a personal note, this is something that Spirit has told me, because I'm that person that doesn't go out in large groups when the energy is really intense, just because it's just not worth it for me. If I don't have to anyway, I will if there's a good need for it. And Spirit had suggested to me that between the 17th and the 25th is the time when, maybe just don't worry about going out as much, and going into large groups. And only because it's a lot of like spiritual hygiene during and after the fact for me. It's very taxing. So I'm not saying you can't go out or anything. That was my personal guidance for this. So anyway, a lot going on. There's even more happening. Like, I'm really looking forward to February and to March. I was looking at some of the stuff that's happening because yeah, and all of the outer planets are changing their signs. This is super rare for this to happen in anyone's lifetime. Is like, what? And so Neptune is moving into Aries on 9th. Jupiter enters Cancer. And then on July 7th, Uranus enters Gemini. So, wow, a lot going on. Yeah, so any comments, questions, please write them in the comment sections here, and I'll address the comments. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you all for coming today. Turtle says fatigue is off the scale today. Still, lots going on. Going to bed between 4 and 6 a.m. for me. It's been a weird week. Yeah, my sleep has been all kind of funky too. It's weird though, because for some time there, I was doing this, staying up extremely late, and then going to sleep, or then waking up rather late as well. And so just it's been almost a week now where I've been kind of going to bed a little bit more of a reasonable time, except for last night. Like, it was something happened, like it just, I was invigorated energy wise. I had all this energy. And then finally, when I was getting to where I was in a place of rest, all of a sudden I started having heart palpitations. And I was like, it was 5:05 a.m. for me, Central Time. So that was about 9 hours ago or so. Anyway, yeah, me too. It's really weird. And then also in the sleep state, we're doing more than we used to. Astral projection wise, we're going in and communing, conversing, and kind of going into these council groups. I've been noticing a lot of us been going into council groups with interdimensional beings, and a variety of different individuals, angels, and stuff like that. So lots of downloads happening. I see that Vegan's here because people are saying hi to her. Hello, Cosmic Detective. Lizzie says, hi, all. Severe fatigue all week with aching wrist, knees, and shoulders. Wowza. Yeah, dude. There's a bunch about this. The joint regions, and this has to do also with the spinal region. If we think about it, each of our vertebrae in our back and our spine is they're all separate joints, right? And so there's a lot of, so what this is about, this has to do with the energy that kind of collects there, kind of like pipe. You'll have things kind of get caught, and residue build up and stuff like that. This is exacerbated when we have all this increased energy coming into us. I know the last count that I had is that we've had 12, I think it was 12 M-class solar flares heading our way, in like the window of like 48 hours. So that's a lot of energy, a lot of plasma coming through, so what guidance we have here is to visually, when you're in a meditative kind of calmed down state, direct the energy, the light, to specific areas of discomfort. And this will uplift and assist you in these areas of your body. So it's really interesting. Just like, when you sage or when you smudge, when you use sound bowls and stuff like that to clear the energy of a space, of a room, you'll notice that it kind of collects and kind of gets stuck, or spends a lot, just kind of, I don't know, stuck seems like it's permanent. That's why I don't like that word. But just it kind of gets caught up in the corners, the bends, and so that's where when you're using these types of cleansing mechanisms, you always want to like specific, be more deliberate with the corners, same as in our body, So, Aisha, hello, Aisha. I don't know. I hope I said your name right. Good to see you. Welcome. Kylie says absolute craziness. Yeah, dude, all kinds of stuff going on. Hello, Deborah. Good to see you. Aisha, yeah, go ahead and ask a question. Please do. Kylie says, hi, beautiful. I've missed you so much. Glad to be here. Good to see you. I'm glad you've made it. I was actually wondering about you the other day. I'm happy to see you. Turtle says, we are really being put through it at the moment. Yeah, dude, there's a lot going on right now. A lot. And meditative practices, pulling away from, and here's my guidance, and do it whatever you want. Turn off the news, man. I know that there's a lot of things that people are excited about and want to know what's going on and stuff, but it's not helping anybody. So if you can turn that off, that would really help you. And like go outside, even if it's cold, go for a walk, or just go in the backyard or something like this. I know it's cold. It doesn't in a lot of places. Right now we have this crazy storm sweeping the southern area of the country, of the US. There's there's areas in Texas, Mexico, Louisiana, northern Florida. They're going to get snow tomorrow, the next day, and the next day after that, including this area here between Monday and Thursday. The temperatures are also going to increase all over the country, except for California and a couple other places. But for the most part, the U.S. is going to be really cold. So, yes, it's cold. But if you can get outside, at least for a little bit, get out of the box, that'll really help. Remembering your water. We have an income for water right now, for salt, and for rest. Judging ourselves because of the need for extra rest is not helping. There's nothing wrong with needing a little bit of rest, and to judge or feel shame about it. It's not going to give anybody any help. Evening, lovely Mila. Good to see you, Turtle. I'm glad you've been able to join us today. Hi, Mila, says Robin of the L's. Hi, all. Nightmares. Oh, yeah. Lots of stuff happening at night right now. Nighttime has been really weird, huh? Like nighttime has been really odd. If you're getting to sleep at night, like I've been noticing a lot of very odd kinds of things happening. The dream recollection is increasing. Before we are noticing that we kind of didn't have really retention of the memory. We would kind of have a vague recollection, and now it's like things are coming back in that, almost feels like you're remembering old dreams from a childhood window of time. And I feel like some of them are. There's one in particular for me that it's a knowing one that I just keep having come back up again, like as if I just had it. It's very fascinating. When we have these kind of experiences, I'm noticing that what helps me to kind of find that peace and to regain my power, to re-empower myself, is to, create a safer space, energetically speaking. Be aware of your thoughts before you're going to sleep, other than pulling in some negative kind of stuff. And, energetic shielding is a way people use these words. I don't use it for shielding purposes, though it does work that way, where you envelop yourself with light, starting with the center, and then blowing that light out as a big sphere all around you. And that really does uplift and assist. It kind of buffers all the energy that's trying to come in. And it basically fills you back up with light and reinvigorates your power. So that might help you. Deb, hello. OMG, woke up bloated to the max. Yeah, dude, it's been a really crazy day. And this is like the the precipice, the here we come kind of energy too, so like our bodies are shifting. I can tell you that my body typically will retain a larger quantity of water as energy shifts are occurring. And so you'll notice that it's due to the plasma. Is the answer I always get from spirit, is that a body with higher content of water is the plasma can move through it much more efficiently. and can assist you in much in a lot of ways that it wouldn't otherwise, so we do retain a lot more water, specifically around the abdomen area. This is got to do with the liver. There's a whole conversation about that we've kind of had a couple different times, but this is the area, where fear, anger is kind of being released. We no longer need to be able to metabolize it, is kind of how it comes down to. But yeah, dude, it's not very comfortable. Julianne says, increase emotional breakdown and night sweats. So the emotional breakdowns, I've been noticing. So for me, I notice it in like bursts of irritability, because I'm a pretty even keeled person typically, like on the regular. And man, especially yesterday, like well into the evening, I was noticing like a higher frequency of irritability. Just, I felt like I was just more touchy, and it's not something that we're used to me experiencing. So it was a point of conversation a couple times, like just some people will experience this as rage, bursts of rage or anger, like frustration, just and then also, to go along with what you had said, this is also something that people are having right now, is this mourning, this grieving, on a global scale. It's got to do with a variety of things, but mostly it has to do with us grieving what we are leaving behind, even though we may be leaving behind stuff that isn't in alignment with us and we don't really care for too much. It still is something that we're familiar with. We're leaving behind predictability. We're leaving behind, who we've been all of this time. So there's a lot of that kind of sensation as well. And so the guidance here is just to let yourself feel it. Let yourself feel it. Let the emotion flow through you rather than recoiling or pulling away from it, leaning into it. Allow yourself to feel it so it can go. And then there's this other part of it that Archangel Michael is very insistent about talking about, it has to do with judgment. When we judge something, when we're deciding a thing about a thing, and when we judge something, we're holding it in place. And when we hold something in place, we hold it prisoner. We eliminate the ability for it to flow and to go. So deciding if it's red or if it's blue, if it's happy or sad, if it's, good or bad, all of those things. And the good or bad part is usually the only thing descriptor we use when it comes to understanding what judgment is, but it has much more to do with a much broader understanding. Deciding anything about it. Simply, it is. It is. It's like a Taoist understanding of the world. It is, it was, it had been, and now it can go. It no longer has a place in our world. And the release that can occur from that is very, very helpful when it comes to these emotional bursts of emotion that come in. It's, for instance, we've been raised in a culture that if you start to cry, you need to have a reason. If you start to have any emotion, but crying is usually the one that people point out the most. It's okay to just cry. You don't have to have a reason. Sometimes it's due to just having too much energy in your physical form or in your vicinity, and the need to weep it out, to release it. Sometimes it's tears of joy. Sometimes it feels like sadness. Sometimes it feels like it doesn't matter. It just is. And just let yourself feel it so it can go, so you can move on to the next thing. Children are really good at this. As an example, they'll fall and skin their knee and they'll cry with their whole hearts. They'll cry it all the way out, like people a block away know something happened, right? And then they're done. It's like turning off a switch, because they completely emptied out that emotion. They completely released it. And now they can skip down the path again. Now they can be perfectly happy and do the next thing. They're very good at emptying their cup so they can then fill it with something else. As adults, we've been taught to keep sipping on that same thing forever and ever. So then after a while, you have a cup full of a little bit of orange juice, a little bit of coffee, a little bit of milk, a little bit, and it's disgusting. And but as a child, we know to finish, to completely empty out that cup. And so we can move on to the next thing. And so that's that kind of a concept. Twitchy, watery left eye too. Okay, left eye is interesting. I know a lot of people have been reporting the right eye, but left or right is whatever is it's not wrong or right. It just is what you are experiencing, Lizzie. I've been noticing my right eye very specifically, this weird watery purging that's happening. Though a few people had mentioned that it was their left. Most of the activations that I'm having is on the left side of my body. But though specifically regarding the eye, it's my right. Also the left arm, the left foot, the left knee, even the left hip. A lot of people are reporting the left shoulder and wrist, as well as elbow. There's a lot of left side. Left is divine feminine, right is divine masculine. Everyone has their own understanding of that, okay? So spiritually speaking, this is what the guidance I was given before anybody told me in a book or any spiritual group gave me a definition. This is what spirit had told me. Most of what I talk about isn't like exactly what people in the larger group accept or regularly understand. So whatever is correct for you. Though spirit has told me these are the answers, is the divine feminine, the left side of the body, and the divine masculine, the right. What do those things mean? What are the characteristics of divine femininity? And then kind of understand this stuff that's happening on this side of the body. The activations that are occurring there are actually quite beautiful. Divine feminine anchoring that's been happening over the past little while has been very fascinating to witness. Cosmic Detective, Mila, Aquarius season just started today at 3 p.m. Oh, hey, there we go. Thank you very much, Cosmic Detective. Yeah, I know I thought it was tomorrow. But the graphs and things that I read are typically from the Southern Hemisphere, so that makes a lot of sense. Hands were huge. Yeah. So having swollen hands from the water retention, and a lot of us are noticing. I was just noticing that today. I was like, dude, I'm retaining a lot more water right now. Our bodies do require more salt than we were guided to use. And a lot of times our imbalance of salt does lead to a variety of other things regarding such things as well. Though, and again, this is not medical advice. If you are guided to go see a doctor, then please do. I'm not saying don't do it. I don't choose to anymore, only because when I would if I felt like there was an emergency. I stopped going only because every time I went, they looked at me like I was a drug seeker, and I don't ever fill their prescriptions. I just wanted to know if I was okay. You tell me I'm fine. Especially when it comes to heart palpitations. Heart palpitations are kind of like one of those things. It's like you've been conditioned to be worried, of course, So a lot of times we do like, what's going on? Am I okay? And the doctors look at us and like, you're healthier than you ever been. What are you doing here? Struth Ruth, hello. Hello, Mila. Spewing sweat and shaky today. Yeah, a lot of people are saying this. I'm really glad that you mentioned this. It helps a lot of people to know how many are going through the same things. Weird sweats, hot, cold flashes is kind of an experience that has just been unique to the time that we're in right now, that we're having too. It's crazy kind of stuff. This got nothing to do with gender or age. It's just something that we're doing and shaking today. Yeah, I actually got a bunch of different, now I think it's total of like 7 people who have said the past 24 hours has been a lot more shaking than they're typically used to having. Vibration of the core of the body, as well as like, I'm having it where like all the sweats that you were talking about, I feel like just overheated and then like I'm purging, and they did say this is the month of purging, but in particular this week, However, I've been noticing that there's just been something more about it just the past 24 hours. And then all of a sudden you're like, you're done purging through your pores, and now it's time to go rinse it off, and now you're cold. You know, there has been a lot of skin related stuff as a result of this purging coming through the pores. So like rashes and hives and things like this. If you are noticing this, remember that your body does need to be cleansed off with after we've had these purges. Like it's stuff that's not in harmony with our body. So kind of when it stays on our skin afterward, it does aggravate and irritate it. So exfoliation, regular forms of full exfoliation does help. And just remembering your water, drinking your water to allow this stuff to continue to purge. you know um and yeah, so thank you for your comments. Spewing, sweating, um and shaking today. So like anyone else having that kind of experience, just know you're not alone. There's a lot of people who've been talking about that. I've been feeling like a quivering in my core, and like it feels like it's got to do with the space of my solar plexus. It's like a quivering. um there's something going on energetically in our centers right now. It's kind of interesting. Inauguration energies will be wild, right? I totally agree, Turtle. Some crazy stuff, that people feel very, very passionately about what camp they are in, and their belief systems and the things that whatever. There's a lot of baggage there, and I'm really fascinated that the inauguration is falling on such a interesting day, as I said already, but I'm going to bring it up one more time just because there are people who are here now that didn't hear it. That Pluto conjuncts the sun in Aquarius, so Pluto is transformation. Aquarius is like, what society's doing and stuff like that. And what is the sun? It's a spotlight. It's shining the light on it, man. It's saying, hey, look at this. Let's uplift this and like assist all these different things. There's a bunch of other things that are happening in the heavens, but this is a really significant one. I also the parade of planets is a big deal. The parade of planets is all of us are lining up in a big giant long row, and so we're having and you're able to see this now, though it peaks on the 25th. You can see most of it. I think that there's 6 now that you can see all lined up, and one's mostly lined up at sunset, just on the horizon where the sun is setting, because one's so close to the sun, and you're able to see it, so pardon me. Good to see you, Astra. There's a lot going on, man. Excuse me. Political or politics is show business for ugly folk. Right, dude? Oh my gosh. There's so much crap going on with that right now. And oh yeah, and there's this other thing that there's a TikTok ban that just got started today. And so there's a lot of civil unrest for the population of people who have invested in that. I've still not gotten that app. I'm not that person. I don't feel like I want to. So it's interesting that was the last act, but it's caused a lot of civil unrest for sure. So definitely a political move. I don't know. Again, I don't invest in politics, but yeah, it's quite it's the worst reality TV ever, right? Of course, we all know reality TV isn't real. Chef Deb, Age of Aquarius, good song too. Yeah, dude. I'm not going to sing it, but I've had it playing in my head for a little while since we started this conversation. Hello, Deborah. Good to see you. Cosmic Detective says, no kidding. Wild vibes over there in DC and the collective. Yeah, dude. I'm a lot closer to DC than I ever have been. I'm in Arkansas, but I'm used to being in Washington State, nestled up in this rural area outside of everything. And it's close enough that I'm kind of like, I don't know. It definitely feels intenser. I know that's not a word, but that's the word I'm using. Struth Ruth, hello, Vegan Vixen. Yes, upset stomach for sure. Oh, here we go. She had talked specifically. I just skipped it because I saw that there's a lot of stomach issues going on. Yeah, dude. Yeah. That is something that, and if as a result, a lot of people are having unplanned fasting, um, meaning they just don't have an appetite and they're just not choosing to eat. It's really interesting how many people, like I had gone on a random live on Friday, and I mentioned that I just don't feel like I feel like I just want to drink my food if I'm gonna eat it all. Like it's more of a juice, tea, water kind of thing. And it's surprising how many other people are like, yeah, me too. Like we're not really, though, for the most part, we're not really wanting anything. Like normally I'll have a glass of orange juice here, and I don't. Like I have just limited need and desire for that right now. Um, they spirit has highlighted the esophageal highway. They call it the esophageal highway, where the esophagus meets the stomach up to, and it kind of like bows over around the back of your body, around the heart chakra, and goes directly to the throat chakra. This esophageal highway is an energetic highway that's being inspired and assisted, uplifted right now for everybody. It's kind of interesting to see how that's. So I think it has a lot to do with. Oh, I'm gonna click this one. A lot to do with the stomach, settling, the unsettled stomach feeling. And when there's an energetic window, typically a lot of us are guided to do one of the other thing. We either find that we have a higher appetite or a lower appetite. Most people that I've talked to, this particular energy window of noticing that their appetite's pretty much gone. However, some people are like, man, I cannot get enough food. I'm just eating like everything in my fridge and wondering where I went, and like, and whatever direction your body is guiding you to go is correct. Everyone's different. Hey, it's 2, 3, 4. Everyone's different. And so just listen to your body and whatever guidance there is there. Just remember your water and your salt, wild vibes for sure, dude. Yeah. All kinds of crazy stuff going down right now. Funny, because yesterday I got paranoid out of the blue, and I said out loud, this is not my energy. You can go. Good job. That's exactly right. I've noticed that most energy bodies have consciousness, like they're maybe not like we are in some way, I guess, but they have consciousness. It's like the consciousness that a plant has. And it's a separate body from us. And when we own it and say I'm feeling, I am this, I am that, then it kind of holds it in place in some way. And when we understand that it's not us, and that it can go and no longer needs to be invested in us, or because there's a loyalty that happens. It's really weird. The emotion's like, oh, you need me to stay? Okay, I'll hang out. And then it's like that neighbor or that friend that comes and like stays on the couch and doesn't go away for like 4 years or something. You know what I mean? And so just keep that in mind. That you don't need to, when we put ownership on something, then we invest in allowing it to last. I'm the same, the random feeling of stomach sickness with no explanation why. Yeah. This is a global experience that a lot of us are having. And, I feel like that it a lot of times has to do with us preparing for this. Look, think about all the different other spiritual groups leading up to a ceremony of spiritual significance. People would typically go through a period of fasting, and each one had a different window of time for it: 24, 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, even 72 hours, sometimes even a week, and so I'm not giving you any guidance to do whatever. It's just our bodies naturally teach us or lean us toward what is most helpful for us, and so it's very interesting that we're all doing this. It's like we're preparing for this. And, I'm still kind of waiting for the big energy to come off the sun that Spirit had showed me. It's these M-class flares are pretty significant, but I'm waiting for the big one. And I'm not talking about like some big apocalyptic kind of thing, but I do get the sensation or the understanding that there will be something more. And so I'm kind of waiting for that. Too cloudy here in Michigan. I tried to see that lineup yesterday evening. I was bummed out. I'm sorry. I was wondering about that for myself too. Like, you never know. It seems like when there's a really cool uh, planetary thing going on, that all of a sudden there's clouds, even when there wasn't supposed to be. So, yeah, who knows? Um, I hardly ever go out in large. I hardly ever go out in large groups. Yeah, I'm not that person either. Like I'll go. I don't prefer to go to shops and stuff like that. If I can avoid it, I will typically. There's something to getting out though. Getting out is different. I'm that person that I'm driving away from populated areas. Like I go the other direction. Where people are like, when they go out, they go toward the highly populated places and to the cities and stuff like that. And I'm going the opposite way, like, so, there's a lot to that. I think that a lot of us have that same experience. It's very common. Excuse me. Buckle up, buttercups. That's right. Chest congestion or infection, but bounce back again now. Glad to join. I'm really glad that you're feeling better, Claire. Yeah, like I noticed that I'm having more of this like upper respiratory stuff. Those of you who followed me for a while, I went on a tangent for a while. I'm always going about Mullen, Mullie, and Mullen. It's also known as lamb ear. This is a really awesome. You can make it into tea, dry it for tea, or you can use it in a pipe, or even roll it with rolling papers and smoke it. I'm not saying to do one or the other. It's whatever is correct for you. However, I have noticed that when I am in fact, I should do that after this call. When I'm having difficulty with the upper respiratory, this is the immediate solution. When it's drank as tea, you need to steep it for a lot longer than you would expect to steep a tea, to the point where it's kind of annoying because then it's cooled down. So what I typically like to do is I like to let the water simmer in like a saucepan and then have the leaves in there. It's because I like my drinks warm or very hot, actually. And so and then I always put raw, unmessed with honey. And that makes it so it's a little bit more, because it's very earthy. It's not everyone's favorite flavor, but remember, it's medicine. And if you smoke it, then what you'll find is, pardon me, you're going to have immediate relief through like purging of mucus the next day. Usually what happens for me is within like by the next morning, I got so much mucus coming up that, it's quite the experience. It's almost like vomiting out the mucus. It's crazy. But then it's gone and I feel better. So if I know I've talked to some people that when I told them that, they're like, well, I'm glad you explained that, because they had seizure disorders of some kind, and that vomiting doesn't help them. So that's why I tell you that part. If you drink it in tea, my guidance there is to use some type of like a coffee filter or something to filter it, because there are these microscopic little hairs on it that for some people it can agitate or irritate their throat. It tickles. Some people it doesn't bother. Everybody's different, So anyway, Mullen, it's amazing. It was classified as a weed because there were so many of them, because Gaia provides what we need. I've gotten really behind, so I'm going to jump down. I hope that, okay, let's see. I really don't like skipping people. Lots of chemtrails here in Texas. Yeah, dude. There's been a lot more lately. I've noticed that too. I took part in several lies, trees this week. Incredible draining. I think that you meant something else. The pain across my shoulders is ridiculous at the moment. Had a few days of that. I took part in several lies, I'm sure you meant something different. A random feeling of sickness and deep sleep disruption seems to becoming more widespread. Yeah. Hey, 111 people here right now in the audience between Facebook and YouTube. Hey, and that's interesting because 10 are from Facebook and 101 are from, or 101 are from YouTube. Excuse me. Yeah, spiritual seeker. I've been noticing this too. It's across the board. Um, and I feel like a lot of it has to do. So, as we know, what ascension symptoms are the result of is our dormant DNA coming out of dormancy, and we've had, it's funny how many people, I'm never going to forget this because I was just so impressed how many people have already forgotten that they were taught in school that 90 to 95% of their DNA was junk DNA. Like I remember that really well because that put me in the principal's office a handful of times because I didn't buy it. And I told them that. Anyway, as this dormant DNA, 90 to 95% of our DNA, it turns out, isn't junk. It's dormant DNA that's in dormancy, not being used. As it comes out of dormancy, then there's a variety of growing pains, spiritual growing pains that occur as a result of these things activating and coming online. And so a lot of that has to do with this, though there could be something more and underlying. I know that there's some other things that are occurring globally at this time that are kind of having an increase in something that everyone seems to be experiencing. Okay, so cosmic detective. I decided not to do groceries and take it day by day. The food is going to be a thing this month, I sense. Yeah, like whatever it is that's correct for you. I definitely am noticing that my tastes, my appetite, my body's asking me for different things. By the way, that's something else. Remember to ask your body, talk to your body, listen to what your body's saying, rather than simply taking an antacid. Maybe your body's saying, "Don't eat that food, please." I know that's not in harmony with us right now. Or, there's a lot of different things that we kind of just force our way through to get our body to get used to it again, and then, at what, for what? What is that? Advantage, or what's the system, what are we getting from that? And another thing that to do is the lean test. Lean into it. If your body leans toward the thing, then it wants it. If it leans away from it, then it doesn't. Also, I've said this a bunch of times recently, but I do try to eat food without utensils as much as I can. There are some, we also have been quite a bit into soup, and so you can't really eat soup very easily without some type of utensil, usually like flatbread or something like that. But, allowing yourself to use limited utensils if you can, because when your body touches it, it decides if it wants it or not. And if it doesn't want it, it doesn't know that until it's already in your body. You've already put it in your mouth. You know what I mean? Pardon me. I need to unplug for a while, says Turtle. Feeling the need to get away from my phone and get out in nature lots. Yeah, dude. I totally, yeah, do it. I totally agree. It's so useful and helpful to do this, like unplug, pull away. Too many people are turning on the news and kind of scrolling a lot more than usual. I think that TikTok being banned today is going to be a really good thing. I don't think it's going to last very long, but it's going to help people, kind of like, what's my priority? There's going to be people who are going to look for replacements, and then there's going to be others that are going to look for something else to do instead. Hi, Charmony. Hi, Diamond Heart 888. Hello, loves. Phew. Had a nap and feeling better now. Woke up with stomach ache, nausea, headache. Huge energies. Week flew by. Liftoff, as Mila says, going to be a wild week. Yeah, dude. This is going to be a real wild week. I totally, and thank you for bringing up the headache. The headache stuff is a thing right now. This has to do with the releasing of things that are kind of been collected in our bodies, and in particular in our brain area. And it's not scary. It's not something to be overly concerned about. It's releasing. It's causing pressure. There's more than just that. Also, these solar flares, as they come in, they bring with them pressure causing headache sensations in the gums. In the gums, not the teeth exactly. Sometimes people think it's in their teeth, but it's actually in their gums, usually, in the sinuses as well as in the head. And so you may notice even having, some pretty severe headache experiences all the way up to a migraine. So this is something that a lot of people are having. Yeah, it's going to be a really great week. Okay, I know that it's like, oh no, here comes a new list of stuff that's going to suck, but it's actually going to be really good. you know um with all things, when change occurs, there's an unsettling sensation, and there's a what now. But it's really great. I'm super excited. I'm really excited. So many things are lined up right now. You know, so many things on a global scale are lined up right now for this to be like a lot of incoming code. And I feel like there's going to be a lot more upgrades, downloads, um, Claire drops. I like that wording. That was really fun. Um, yeah, lots of stuff coming in. Sherry says it's snowing hard. Gotta go out, feel it, smell it. Love you. Love you too. I'm glad you joined us. Yeah, dude. That's so cool that there's. You see, it's good to get out, even if it's for a minute. There's nothing wrong with like, piling on warm clothes and just get out for a minute. Turn off the phone. You know, turn it on airplane mode at the very least. Turn off your Wi-Fi router. You don't need it on all the time. Take a break, you know? Hello, Elsa. Live her first word again. I hear when she joins. This is a thing. Wow. I was wondering when I said that, I thought of you. That's really interesting. That's crazy. Excuse me. I got the sniffles. Hello, I love seeing when you come online. You're like a lifeline. So appreciate you. Feeling some deep, crazy shifts in the whole body. Uh, LOL, lots of love. Thank you, Carla. It's good to see you, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, there's definitely some crazy shifts happening. We're in it. We're in it. We're in the depths right now, and it's good stuff. Yeah, it feels unsettling because there's a change, something occurring that's not been something we were doing just before. So it feels a little bit uncomfortable. you know yeah, night sweats, dude. My night sweats are actually daytime sweats. Like it's the weirdest thing, like all this. And I it's it's usually after I've eaten something. Like my form of eating right now, because my appetite's so little, it's like juice. And then my body's like, why did you do that? It's almost like I feel like that. It's crazy. um but yeah, the increased need for water and for salt right now is definitely we really do. It really will help for the purging that's happening through the pores of the sweat. We're replenishing the salt in the water that leaves in our sweat glands. Though what's more is that it's helping more of what's leaving us to leave us in a more efficient manner. Diamond Heart 888, hot spells back for me lately too. Nice to have a break for a bit. I have had them for decades. Tell me we are upgrading big time. Tells me we're upgrading big time. We really are. Diamond DNA, that's right, activating. I was shown a few days ago. Yeah, yeah, me too. I've been seeing this crystalline energy. I was in session with someone yesterday, and Spirit was showing me their tree, and holy crap, I never even saw that before. There's like this crystalline energy that connects. Like there's like this little meager tree, and there's like this mushroom cloud of crystalline energy that comes off of it. It looks kind of like cobwebs made of light, if in a way. It looks more like the filament that connects all of the different vessels. How we're all connected through these light bows, arcs, of light. It was kind of like that. It's really crazy. It was crystalline for sure. Anyone else having breaking teeth, cracking teeth? A lot of people have actually been talking about the teeth thing. I know that, it's weird that I thought that I didn't. I thought to myself, am I going to talk about this today? And maybe we'll see if it comes up. So I'm going to bring it up. Is that I like 2 or 3 days ago, Spirit told me, suggested to me to use hydrogen peroxide to clean my mouth rather than any other thing that I had been using before. I've not been investing or using fluoride for quite some time, but I've been buying non-fluoride toothpaste. Some people have been saying other things. If some people use salt, they'll just wet their toothbrush and like tap a little bit of salt on the tips or whatever. But Spirit was talking about this peroxide. And all of a sudden, like any difficulty that I've been noting in my mouth has resolved. And that's why I'm bringing that up. But I feel like a lot of people are having this. This was the download. And that's, again, here comes Y2K, circle back. Again. Is Y2K, the downloads I was getting back then. This Y2K was in 1999. This was a big shift year. There's been a lot of shift years that are big since then and before then, bigger and bigger, in fact. However, the download that happened back then was saying that as these shifts begin, a lot of people who have not been able to, for whatever reason, sort out their bodies and things that they're consuming, and then there might be individuals who don't bring their teeth with them, meaning that the teeth will have difficulty leading up to the awakening experience. Though this isn't a permanent thing. I know this sounds absolutely bonkers sometimes saying this out loud, but there is a knowing that our teeth can regenerate and even regrow. And, there are some people who have been not only having it already, but who have, grown in almost a full mouth of teeth. Like this is happening for people. It really is. It just sounds crazy. It sounds bizarre, but it's a thing. So anyway, if anyone else is having this experience, for it would be really useful for Vegan Vixen. You probably have already commented. Looking on this now, I think that your comment came in like a half an hour ago. I'm that behind. Hello, Elsa. Left tired. We are leaving this feeling tired. Dude, so this is the craziest thing. Elsa and I, we compare notes on occasion. And there's something up about the left tire where it's like, I mean, it's been since 2012 since I had a flat, and my front driver's side tire is flat. It's like, well, crap. I can resolve it. I just don't have any desire to right now. There's no place to be right now, that needs to, I don't feel like going out right now where I can walk to any place you want to go. We're in a small enough community that it doesn't. And it's really interesting, though. It's very interesting, this whole left tire, the fact that that's happened after so long. And then the same freaking day, Elsa has the same experience. Hulk hands, the swollen hands. Yeah. There's something about that, the Hulk door. Hello, Janet, sorry. Quivering, good word. Yeah, dude. There's a quivering in the yellow. The yellow is yellow, and the solar plexus. There's something going on here in the solar plexus region, and it is very closely related to the liver. Quiver Quakers of the liver. Ooh, hey! I just didn't even read your whole comment, and that's exactly what I got out of that. Yeah, the Quakers prophecy. I have to look into a little bit more of that. What's the prophecy, Elsa? I don't know if you're still here because it's been some time since you wrote that. Turtle says it really does feel like America is about to implode. The UK isn't far behind. Yeah, it's very good to see when things fall as they're supposed to. Fall doesn't always mean bad or broken. Sometimes what's falling is if you're spending all if you've put together a puzzle. This is the visual they're showing me, so I'm trying to find a way to explain it. If you put together a puzzle and the pieces are put together incorrectly, it's not going to do anybody any good to force the pieces. Instead, what needs to occur is what they just did in visual sense, is they put their hand underneath the puzzle and flipped it up, and then all the pieces fell down, broken apart, and there looks like destruction, it looks like tragedy, but it actually is not. A thing must first fall completely apart in order to put it back together correctly in the most aligned way. So that's what's occurring. And sometimes it feels uncomfortable. Sometimes there's like, but I put so much, just because we have invested so much time into making bad choices, it doesn't mean that we need to continue to invest any further energy into them. And bad choices probably isn't the right way of saying it, but a choice that's not in alignment, right? Water carries here 70% US. Water carries memory. Water carries a lot. And water moving through our bodies right now. And also our bodies still kind of containing or so as we speak unkindly to ourselves, our body hears us. 70% of our bodies is water. I read that as US, and that's us. 70% of our body is water, right? And as we speak unkindly to ourselves, our water can hear us, and it changes the frequency. Check out Dr. Emoto, water frequency. You speaking kindly to water and freezing it, it looks so much different than if you speak unkindly and freeze it. It looks crazy different. It's very apparent. Excuse me. That would be nice, Vegan Vixen. I'm very self-conscious about it, to be honest. I missed your comment, Vegan Vixen. I'm sorry, I don't see it. As Star, great name. Yeah, dude. Times of TikTok. Yeah, dude. There's a lot about this. There's a lot of code. Oh, apparently TikTok is back online, according to the news. Interesting. I wonder. The TikTok ban sent a lot of the guys across the pond into a tailspin. They ain't happy. Yeah, dude. Yeah, a lot of civil unrest as a result of it. Like there is a whole group, like a couple of generations, I guess, that they've kind of it's been, that's it's a thing. It's a thing. I've never had the TikTok thing, but there's a lot of content producers that have suggested that I get TikTok. I just didn't really want to. Carl says, "Hey all, glad to be here for the first time. Welcome, Carl. Good to see you." I've been putting a couple of cloves in coffee pot. Amazing. Oh, that's a great idea, Josephine. Yeah, whole cloves are a really good way of clearing parasites too. Black walnut, wormwood, apple cider vinegar. There's a lot of turmeric. There's a lot of different real basic. And then remembering to throw some parsley in there, or some diatomaceous earth, or some rosemary. There's a lot of different things that you can do that will help, purging the stuff that needs purged right now. Let's see. Weird energy. Learning to let go of what is not mine. That's awesome, Vanya. Yeah, there's a lot of weird energy. And I do agree that it has something to do with us learning to decipher, to discern what's ours and what's not ours, right? And being like, okay, just, thank you. I'm going to let you go now. A lot of times I find that saying thank you, or usually what I'll say is thank you for your service, because I do know that it does help. It's helped something. It has a purpose. And when it's in disharmony with us, it's no longer has a purpose. It no longer has a purpose. So I usually thank it for its service, and then I say goodbye, and like, you are no longer needed. Yeah. Weather here is yuck, near constantly cloudy. It's a little depressing. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, dude, I do not care for it when it's that gloomy. I like the sun. I saw the planet line up last night. Meteor shower too was so beautiful. Oh, cool. I'm so glad you saw both of those. Yeah, the meteor shower also is going on tonight for it's the excuse me. I think it's the Ursa minor meteor shower. There's also a couple of things going on tomorrow. So I don't know how many of you heard that. There's a lot going on. The Pluto conjunct Sun in Aquarius. There's a lot of other things happening, but the fact that we're having this other stuff going on with the political world and TikTok being banned or maybe unbanned now, I'm surprised that they unbanned it so quickly. It's very interesting. That's not a play on people's emotions. I don't know what it is. I smoke Mullen every day at the moment. Awesome, Turtle. Yeah, like it's really beautiful. It's like a ceremonial thing to do. I mean, I'm not telling anyone to or don't smoke. I just something that I don't. I've Mullen. There's when it comes to using it, I'm kind of like I'm the pull the band-aid off kind of person too. So it's like if I'm having issues, I want to solve it right now. So I usually smoke it just to get it done with instead of like drinking the tea helps. If you end up with if you end up finding that you have the Rona or something that's an upper respiratory difficulty, drinking the tea really does help. It really, really does. It's an ancient I was taught through the Native American culture I was raised with. It's an ancient Native American remedy, and it's classified as a weed back in Washington State, an invasive weed because the planet started to produce so much of it just before the lockdown. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So, the Gaia provides what we need when we need it. And so why not utilize it? It's really useful. But I had found immediately felt better after drinking the tea, but I found that I had to drink it regularly, like every 4 hours, and then smoking it was like I just kind of made me better overnight. The next morning I had a lot of mucus to cough out. Eric says symptoms, all of the above, check. Just depends on which moment you're speaking of right now, right? So good to finally catch the Vibe Tribe live. Ooh, look at that rhyme time. Weather is like April in Alaska. Hugs. That's awesome. Yeah, I actually heard it. It was Alaska, California, and I believe Hawaii are the only ones who are not having like this record breaking cold when it comes to the US. It's crazy. Yeah, it's good to see you, Eric. Um, yeah, the Mullen is awesome. That's some good stuff. Yeah. I wonder, says Karen, if more of us are neurodivergent. I see so many parallels I have been questioning. You know, I would say that classification or label tends to uh, limit individuals, in my opinion, and it's all whatever is perfect for you, works for you, is correct for you. Though on an individual level, I find that it's um, this is the field I was in, social work, using the DSM-5, DSM-4, the DSM, looking at all these different things. If you um, look at this, you'll find that everybody has some type of diagnosis, right? And so what's that tell me? You know, there's a lot of things that um, have been trying to teach us to all be the same, or that there's something wrong with you, and I've never been diagnosed with any of these things. Like, well, I was given CPTSD. Um, there was some other, like, they thought I had Tourette's. And it turns out it was this stuff would just come out of my mouth, and it wasn't swear words. Now I understand that it was channeling, so it's really interesting. And they try to limit us by giving us an unfavorable diagnosis or something that seems like it's not helping us. And then we find out that it's actually, you know, uh, part of, or a side effect of, or a part of your being a starseed. someone in their awakening, someone who is willing and able to be their authentic self, So um, seems I have developed a healthy appetite for cacao. I drink some pretty much every day. Lovely stuff. Cacao's awesome. Um, lives, yes. Oh, you probably, yeah. What was that comment? I forgot to know already. I'm sorry. That was so. It wasn't that long ago. Thank you. Hello, Lavender Sky Panther. Good to see you. Spin Beings, Elsa, the Matrix code 10101. Interesting. I am Captain Typo at the moment. It's ridiculous. That's okay. That's okay. Usually I can read typo pretty well, but that I wasn't sure. I remember that comment, but I wasn't sure what it was. Ascension Symptoms. We are returning respin to sense. It's working. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I was such a rebel child. I was a speaker of the people. Like when I see injustice occurring, I don't know how to stand back. And I was watching my peers in class being fed, and they were just believing all of the lies, being fed a bunch of baloney. And it just, no, dude, and then they want me to, and, I think that I had a unique experience being that I didn't start school till I was in ninth grade. I was 14 years old. And so everyone else had already been indoctrinated, conditioned into this world of public school and the world and so I had the ability to see how odd it was. They didn't know, a lot of people didn't realize how weird some of the propaganda that they were being fed was, and so yeah, when they told me that, and these are people who were saying that they believed in God and all this stuff. But if there really was a God, here's what I used to explain. It's a perfect being in the way that they presented it. If this is true, then why would it throw 90 to 95% of their garbage into us, right? Like, but that's asinine. And so, anyway, that definitely got me to the principal's office. Ask body sense self, see sense fey. Turtle, take home with you. Cute, om with you. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Time taken away from humans. Yeah, interesting. That's very, very cool. My body is enjoying Pringles at the moment. Yeah, whatever is correct for you. Everybody's different. Everybody has their thing. No time, can't make this up. Yeah, no time. Yeah, we're definitely leaving behind time. Uh, I've been having a lot of time slippage kind of stuff lately. And I'm sure a lot of other people here have been experiencing that. You're just noticing that there's not been linear time isn't real anyway. As we spend more and more time in our third eye is where you can coexist with all time, now, later, and before, all at the same moment. And then from this place, you can also see all the different timelines and how they converge. And as they're doing that, we're starting to see that rather than time being a time, it's a location. And it's very interesting how that works. But Lies Talk, TikTok being banned, that's a whole. I'm sure other people probably already commented an answer to this. There's a lot. There's a lot to that. Oh, Vegan Vixen, thank you. Thank you. There's so much love and thanks, Mila. We all love you so much. Thank you very, very much, Vegan Vixen. It's deeply, deeply appreciated. I really, really do appreciate all of you. Man, thank you very, very much, Vegan Vixen. Thank you, Mila, for all you share. And thank you for to all the commenters. I so appreciate you. Much love. Thanks, Flix Love. That was beautiful. I'm back. Brr. Yeah, dude. It's cold out there. It's weird that it's so cold here. It's midday, well, 3 p.m. So it's, 3 hours past midday here. And it's 26 degrees Fahrenheit, which is quite cold. It's quite cold. This is not typically the temperature you'll have here. Like it's usually more in the 40s, or even 50s. But we're looking at having another snowstorm in the next day or two. So that's going to be interesting. It's so weird to be in the South where there's like tarantulas, lizards, and alligators, and then also snow. It's like, what? But that's also Florida, parts of Mexico, Texas are looking at snowstorms the next couple of days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are all different days that depending on where they're at. Uh, the Gulf of Mexico, Louisiana, there's just a lot. It's crazy. It's going to be interesting to hear some of the stories that happen because a lot of these individuals have not seen snow like ever, ever. If they've not moved and they've lived there their whole lives, they don't know. And I can tell you that around here, when it snows, they just close everything. The stores close. No one drives anywhere, so like if you're in a region that you're looking at some snow for the first time, my suggestion is that, you don't need to like over purchase. You don't need to collect more than you need, but get enough, basic things, food, water for, a couple of days or a week, to make sure that you're going to be fine because stores will close. People don't drive when they don't clean the roads. They don't have a way to clean the roads, in these southern parts of the U.S. And so there's a lot of that. So just keeping that in mind. Liftoff. Looking forward to where we're going. Me too, Mick. Oh my goodness. It is so exciting. I am super duper looking forward to it. Vibrating teeth. Interesting, Strew Through. Thank you for your comment. Yeah, I've noticed that my gums are having there's some type of activation. It doesn't feel uncomfortable, but there's something happening here. And as I said earlier, there's something that is needed for instead of toothpaste in my world. Warm salty water is good. Yeah, dude. And I don't ever drink cold liquids. Well, no, that's not true. My juice is cold usually. Like I'll put it in the fridge, but that's just so it like survives, But I typically drink room temperature liquids or warmer, But yeah, I feel like that is very important. Same, warm salty water is very good for cleaning of the mouth and for hydrating your body. No way, Mila, using bicarb and peroxide for teeth cleaning last 2 weeks. No way. Interesting. This is just recently something that Spirit guided me to do. Like, I don't know, it's been 3 days, maybe 2 days, something like that. It's just been recent. And that was, Spirit's like, hey, it's time that you start doing this. Okay. I actually never have done that before, ever. Like I didn't even think about the fact you could put peroxide in your mouth. It wasn't something that I ever considered. But if Spirit, like, and use your own discernment, that you can tell sometimes. Sometimes there's energies that try to like give you ideas that are not trying to help you. You can tell the difference though. They feel like they're helping you or they feel like they're being not. Ooh, new mouth of teeth growing. Yeah. It's really crazy. Like it's really crazy, but it's crazy in a good way. It's very fascinating that we can, and I'm not saying I'm a master of these things. It's just, I understand it. Hey, Carmen, I was wondering where you were. Good to see you. Last shout out. There's been this thing about the teeth regeneration for a while, but what Spirit's been telling me is that we can regenerate everything. And most of our difficulty has to do feeling high. Yeah, dude, the energy is crazy right now. Disoriented. Yeah, Carmen. It's weird, right? Like I I was having heart palpitations like 9 or 10 hours ago that were just really severe for a minute. It's like, what is the deal here? Um, we can regenerate everything. It's got more to do with the processed foods and the things that are in the processed foods that are out of alignment for us and that are aging us in a more rapid way. We are the generation, we now, all that are here now. And yeah, people like try to, this is, Generation X, and this is the baby boomers. I'm not talking about that. The generation of human that's now incarnated are all the humans that are have the ability to regenerate. All of us now. There was something about the lost code from the time before, but everybody who was of that generation or that part of the human aspect are no longer here. So each one of us now have the ability, who are here, the ability to regenerate. It's just figuring out how, you know, what to do, and but most of it has to do with not taking in these toxins into our bodies. We're noticing more and more that our bodies are not wanting certain things, and so listen to your body. Just because someone says it's good for you doesn't mean it is. Even, people, and everybody's different. If something's good for one person doesn't mean it's good for everybody, right? Um, there's a lot to do to it. Beacon Vixen says, I oil pull with coconut oil and oregano oil every morning. That's awesome. I've heard about this. I've actually used it a little bit, tried it out. And there's another one. Cloves really good for teeth and gums. Also quick swish with castor oil and spit it out. Yeah. Like, also, if you have a little, if you're having difficulty with purging your body's food, like if you're noticing your body's not, like, if you're constipated, if you swallow a little bit of castor oil, it'll loosen up that. It's something that will help you in a gentle way. Castor oil is actually really for us in a lot of different ways, but I'm telling you this because if you do swallow a bunch of it, it'll happen really fast. That might not be what you want exactly. Um, but yeah, castor oil on the skin as well. Castor oil is really, especially, if you pray, you bring love to it, whatever word you want to use. A lot of people will also, here, I use something like this. This is a selenite plate. The selenite plate, it shattered when I was interested what would happen. So I put a store-bought cold coffee on here. It wasn't too cold, but it shattered it. And I was like, okay. But anyway, um, putting things on, with intention on selenite plates, or, just knowing that's your intention and that's what your energy you're putting into it, it will assist it and bring it to a higher frequency before consuming it or before utilizing it on the skin. Also really does help. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Time investment. Wow, Mila. Yeah, dude, there's a lot going on with time. Time is no longer. Fluctuating temperatures also changes in pressure. Atmospheric highs and lows always felt at my temples. So bodies too. Interesting. Thank you, Sherry. Trina, good to see you. The word of God says that unless the kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it cannot multiply and grow. Grow, America, grow. Hey, that's a good example of what the spirit was showing with this puzzle. Clothes are so good, right? My go-to. Yeah, dude, I love clothes. I'll just toss one in like a glass of water. Like someone talking about putting it in tea. A lot of people will use it in tea. Yeah, it's really good to have you join us, Carl. I love that picture, Mila. It's what makes us all so incredible. Your ability to break apart and be put back together again as something new, better than new. Yeah, dude. Carl, you're right. It's so much. It's so beautiful what we're doing right now. It doesn't always feel as beautiful as it is. Weird energy, new alien stardust coming in, feels foreign, fours rain. Did you guys know about that comment, by the way? So that comment's not a comment. And so it's really interesting to see what's going to come from that. You know, And it's going to be really fascinating to, uh, I believe a lot of what we're having happen right now has to do with what's rained upon us by this comet. It looked like crystalline energies, like raining down on us. So it's really interesting that you brought that up. You may have known that, because that's actually, yeah, it's a big deal right now. Quickening, quick ban on time, quick to me. And, this is a reference that typically spirit doesn't guide me to look at the Bible. Um, okay, let's really quickly. What's in the T? Mullen, Mullien. That's the mullen is something that it's also called lamb's ear. You can get it. A lot of times it grows or really, like a weed. People call it a weed all over the place. But you can also purchase it online. Mulline, mullen. So, Spirit guided me to look at the Bible, and I was really surprised. That doesn't happen usually. Um, there's some stuff that's in there that isn't isn't correct for what Spirit tells me. Anyhow, they showed me the Book of Matthew, the shortening of days, and the shortening of days for the elect, or for the chosen ones, depending on your translation version. What they're talking about is that time will speed up more and more and more for us. And so it's to help us, because there's so much going on right now. Yeah, here's the spelling. Thank you, Claire. um, there's so much going on right now that if we were to experience time as we had been before, it would be too much. What's more is we're leaving behind time. We are leaving behind what is and was understood as time, because it's limiting. Witch doctor, you have hilly jiggly. Yeah, I like that. That's really funny. Cacao. Yeah, dude. Chocolate. A lot of people are noticing this. Like, a lot of times, usually when Elsa and I chat and have our meetings. By the way, she's coming to, we're going to do a live together. Pardon me. Elsa and I are going to be doing a live together in a couple of days on the day before Groundhog Day. So it'll be Saturday for the Northern Hemisphere, Sunday for the Southern Hemisphere. Um, Groundhog Day, February, the first for us, Saturday the 1st, I believe. Yes, everyone, double check. Yeah, and we'll be. I think we're going on at 1 p.m. Central Time, 5 a.m. for Elsa time. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check, but that's going to be cool. And then also coming up in a couple of days on Wednesday, Guardian is joining us. I know that he's been kind of out for a little bit, so we're really excited to have him come back. I've missed him. Um, well, I know a lot of you have missed him too. Have been asking about him, and so he'll be coming back. Um, it's a rabbit hole right there, right? So that'll be a fun conversation, and that one we're going to be starting at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So instead of 2 p.m., where I usually go live, we're going to be going an hour earlier to accommodate the fact that he's in Romania. And if I started at 2 p.m., that would be like 10 p.m. his time. So that's like really late, especially for the middle of the week. So um, anyway, I'm going to put that link up and make that available for you guys to be able to see, because then once the link's up, then you can see that it's when the time is for your time zone. But I'll put that up today. I just didn't want to overwhelm and have too many links up and be kind of like, it's weird too when you put up a link very early, then people don't get notified as well, I've noticed. But at the same time, then there are people who don't know it's coming. So, it's like, which one's the best one? So anyway, I'll be putting that up later on. We have very cold winds here in Oz too, in jumpers, winter clothes. Jumpers is the way that they call sweaters or sweatshirts. So that's really interesting. In Australia, right now is like August for them, um, seasonally speaking, and the fact that they're cold enough and that crazy cold, interesting. Um, Wow, we've been here an hour and 15 already. It flies by. Yeah. Yeah, I probably it's now been an hour and 24. I probably better wrap this up. Um, balancing pH of mouth assists liver. Yeah, and assists heart too. There's a lot about this. And that's what Spirit was um, kind of bringing on about using uh, the hydrogen peroxide for cleaning of the mouth. Had to do with lining up of the heart chakra stuff. January, the year and a month. The year and a month. I felt like that too. Yeah, dude, there's so much happening right now. This is a month that is so crazy. This week in particular, what can you do to help yourself? Maybe apart from being sure that you're taking time to be in rest, to allow yourself to you know be in a little bit of quiet, go outside, pull away from over uh, uh, crazy energy. You know what I mean? Allow yourself to um, uh, be sure that your body's taking in enough water, salt. I'm. This is everybody's different, but what guidance I've been given is about a tablespoon of salt a day. That's a lot of salt, and we've been taught that salt is bad for us and it's bad for our heart and stuff, and that's turns out it's actually not the opposite. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Bible turns off TikTok. Too funny. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it's really, there is some crazy stuff going on. Um, what the WTF is going on for Red Riding Hood? I've never felt how I have in the past 2 days. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of energy coming in. I know that I explained a lot of stuff that earlier in this, you might not have caught it, but there's a lot going on, planetarily speaking. Don't forget, if you get a chance, if the sky's clear enough, to check out the sky at sunset. It peaks on the 25th with the parade of planets. You can see it now. There are 6 of the planets that you can see up in a line. Look to the west at the setting sun. Um, that seems really biblical. Actually, I heard Gandalf's voice when I was saying that one. That was kind of funny. I wonder why they were bringing that up. There was something about that. Look to the east. Interesting. Because it's actually saying look to the west. Anyway, I'll figure that out later on. Look to the west with the setting sun. You'll see the parade of planets. All these planets are lining up. It's really pretty. And there's going to be more. Um, as we peak on the 25th. Tomorrow is a big energy day for a lot of different reasons. I'm not surprised that they're using this day for the political thing as well. Also, it's a national holiday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, as well as National Popcorn Day is today. And I think that's kind of interesting because it's like the idea of, you know, it's a stage, it's all a movie, and there've been so many references about this. Spirit's been giving me these references for years, the different stages of like preparing the set, getting it ready, starting opening, the lights kind of dim in the audience, and all this kind of stuff. And then you start to hear the squeak of the curtain pulling back, and we're here, and it's just like sit back, enjoy the ride. You're gonna be fine. It's all good. It's all good. It's beautiful, in fact. And you know, take your time to be in your center as much as you can. If it's possible at all, I will do a group meditation tomorrow. I just don't know if it's going to be possible. I have a full schedule tomorrow, so I'm going to see what I can pull out. If I do, then I will post this link in our Telegram groups, as well as in YouTube. So it will be more in the evening, if that's going to be something I can pull off. That's my desire, so keep a lookout for that. I'm again, it's like 50% chance that I can do that. So I'm going to try, and definitely that's my intention for tomorrow. But that will be like later in the evening, for like 6:30 p.m. my time, Central Time. So if at all, if we could do that. So anyway, I need to get going. I love all of you so much. Thank you all for joining us today. Um, Popcorn's Phoenix. Interesting. Ooh, that's very fascinating. Um, Pray to Planets, Odin's AIDS Plan ET, here to assist us. That's right. Love you, Carmen. It's good to see you. Good to see all of you. Thank you all for joining me today. Know that you're not alone. There's a lot going on, and we're all feeling that. We're all feeling it. There's also like an empathic global unrest kind of sensation is, and for a lot of different reasons, and so allowing yourself to just be in that place of love and remembering to let yourself have the rest that you need, to there's no need for you to go to a place of shame or self-judgment. Everybody needs to take care of themselves right now, and to be gentle with yourself while you're in this, is going to help you and everyone else as well. So, and I will see you all, at the very least. I'll see you on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time, where Guardian joins me for a really fun conversation. I'm really very much looking forward to talking to him. So this will be a lot of fun. I love you all. Thank you again for being here. Know that you're not alone. Aho blessings.